Hi guys. So today I was feeling inspired to share the difference between asking for advice and asking for support. There's a lot of subtleties in between those two things, but today I'm just going to kind of go with the extremes in either direction so that we can just like lay the basis for the difference between the two. So I think a lot of the time in my experience, and I'm absolutely certain in your experience, there have been interactions where we come to a person and we're like excited about an idea or a project or something that we came up with just on the spot, or something that maybe we're in the middle of or even towards the end of actually completing and like manifesting, putting in our experience, creating in our experience. Um, and that person starts to give us sort of their advice on how to move forward, or like saying, oh well, my friend did it this way, or I know someone that has done it this way, or have you ever tried thinking about it in this way. And in those interactions, sometimes both parties start to feel a little bit of friction, a little bit of kind of bad feeling, even though it started off in that great place, and even though the person that is sharing that advice with you is trying to build you up, trying to be helpful, wanting to be involved. That's not necessarily what the asker is looking for in that moment. And so, they kind of start to feel a little bit off about it, and then maybe feel a little bit guilty because they know that person was just trying to help. But um, the way to tell the difference, I suppose, between when you should be giving advice and giving support is if someone comes to you enthusiastically about that idea or that project, that at that moment, what they're really seeking, what can really help them the best moving forward, is just you kind of allowing them to speak into empty space until you feel like they've shared what it is that they wanted to share, and then being there for them, saying, that's great, I love that idea, I'm so excited to see what you do with this, I've never thought of something in that way, or I've never heard of something in that way, or yeah, I think that this is really the right time for you to be doing this, how wonderful. That's sort of what they're looking for, even if they're not directly stating it. And I'm sure that you can tell, like in the past, when maybe you've started giving advice at that point and the person kind of starts turning off a little bit, like, oh well, I'm not doing it that way, or no, I don't really need someone to do that, or oh, I don't really think that way, um, because though you're trying to help, you're actually kind of derailing their thought process, which I've done on several occasions, and I know that many people have done it, and it's never intentional. It's just a matter of being able to tell the difference between what a person is asking for in that moment. Whereas when someone is coming to you asking for advice, you'll be able to tell by the energy and the tone and the questions that they're asking you. If someone says, I don't know what to do about this, or I don't have any experience with this, or this is kind of a feeling that I'm not feeling great about in this planning stage or in this idea stage, or I'm not sure how to implement this, or I'm not sure how to think about this, or I'm not sure how to approach this conversation with this person or this relationship with this person, then is a good time to not only to bolster them up by providing support and encouraging words, but then also to maybe throw in some of the, oh well, I know a situation similar to that worked out because of this thing, or this person that I know changed their mind about this, and then things started to open up for them in a way that I think they could open up for you too, or maybe even, oh, I think I might know someone that could help you out with this planning stage, or that could help you out with this execution stage of whatever that idea is. It could also be something more emotional, like, oh, actually my cousin or my father or my friend was in a similar situation or in a similar emotional place, and I saw them get out of that place by adjusting their thinking or by adjusting their actions in this way. That is an appropriate time to start offering the advice, because they've already derailed from their path. So anytime you get an inspiration, or have a feeling like you want to maybe have some sort of discussion with a person, or when you have an inspiration for like a business idea, that's like a trajectory. That's when the arrow is being loosed, basically. And if you can keep following those impulses enthusiastically, then it's going to lead to that outcome. But a lot of the time, in between here and here, we can sort of get derailed with negative self-talk, self-judgment, or looking out in the world and saying, well, no one's ever done it this way, or This is a brand new thing that no one's ever done in general. And then we kind of start talking ourselves out of it. And at that point, we do tend to reach out for advice. Or if we don't, you should, because that can give you the realignment that you're looking for. And that's at that point not derailing someone from beginning to end. That's supporting them in being like, okay, here's a little bit more momentum for that arrow in this direction, as opposed to an arrow flying really fast toward that endpoint, and then you coming in with your advice is kind of like grabbing the arrow or grabbing like a rope that's attached to the arrow and kind of like pulling it back, which is what that feeling is when that person goes, I don't want to do that, or that's not the way that I think. And then, you start to feel like, well, geez, I'm just trying to give you advice. And then it becomes a negative interaction. And then people maybe won't reach out as often because they're feeling like, well, everyone's giving me this advice and that's not really what I'm asking for. And that kind of, like derails you. Obviously, both of those things are coming from a really wonderful place, but it is important to be able to tell the difference between what you're asking for in the moment, advice or support, and what other people are asking for in the moment, advice or support. So the more you kind of play around with this, the more you'll be able to recognize which energy people are coming to you with. And it's okay to get it wrong, because we will continue to get it wrong, and that's actually a good thing, because the more we do that, the more we're honing our conversational skills, the more we're honing in on how to deepen the harmony and balance within our relationships, how to optimize our conversations to build people up and to give them what it is that they're looking for, or to receive what it is that we're looking for within that interaction. Let's see, is there anything else? So yeah, I guess like I said, there are subtleties to these things, and sometimes people are asking for support and advice in the same question, but maybe even just for now, especially if you're recognizing this pattern going on with your life, kind of treat it as one or the other, because you'll start to realize the subtleties after you have these interactions and recognize how someone is responding to it. It's also perfectly okay to come to a person and qualify the conversation by saying, hey, I'm really looking for some like support or some enthusiasm from other people about this, or hey, I'm actually looking for some advice about this, because then you're giving that person just another leg up on what it is that you are wanting from them at that time. But obviously, we don't want to qualify everything that we say to everyone all the time, because that would get exhausting. So, pick and choose the moments when you're going to say that to someone. But yeah, so that's what I'm feeling today, and I wanted to go ahead and share that with you guys. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.